thank you all for being here, but what I want to say now is really thank you all for being part of this. There being 4 years of research. The reason you are here is because you took part in this endeavor some way or another. So all that came out of this is also thanks to you. You all made a part of this in different way. It was in the lab, was outside the lab. It's definitely made a contribution also in that path that Laszlo and Tommy show of personal evolution. And so I want to take this final moment of this presentation to tell a bit more of the adventure and being an opportunity to thank each and every one of you. I cannot go person by person, but I just want to acknowledge all your contribution in this story, but just by telling it. That's also will be an opportunity to tell the complete part of the story. So first of all, I've been awarded with a PhD. Well, some of you might know what a PhD is, others might be confused by the term, but I searched for the actual term or a way to understand it. And I found this one and I liked it a lot. It's an academic degree. Where's mine? Right, so far we're clear. It's an academic degree that is awarded to someone that has spent more and more time learning about more and more about less and less. So then in the end, it knows everything about nothing at all. Sounds strange, but I like it a lot. Here is why. We have the human knowledge, right? We have everything we know. And when we study, we start understanding a bit of everything. Very little, but just a bit. What is very important. Then one day, we decide what we want to become. We decide the specialization, right? I wanted to become a materials engineer, and I went that direction. And so when you study in one direction, then you learn more and more and more, thanks to the guidance of your professors, teachers, and supervisors, until you learn the state of the art. You learn what everybody has measured before, what everybody has said before on that topic, and you try to approach that limit. And if you work hard enough and you discover something, then you push that boundary forward. You learn something new, you extend the human knowledge, and that's a PhD. The point is that that is very small. You know everything about nothing at all. I mean, I spent time working on these very, very fascinating materials that most of you have never heard about before. But in there, I understand most of how electrons move inside and how they behave and their properties. That's really the concept. But now, how to get a PhD? Right, that's a very general question. The plan is simple.
That's a copyright on it.
Too late. The answer is simple, right? You need a plan, and that plan implying you study, you need to learn, you do experiment, you progress, you write, you publish. Well done, you got a PhD. Does it ever work like this, a plan in life? Of course. Okay. Yes. Yes. Don't try it again. Okay. There's actually volume there? There's actually volume there. We got it. Okay. So, how to get a PhD? Like here, it never goes according to plan. That's a rule in life. Like you make a plan, it's not going to go that way. But it's because there's that. You're going to learn something. I mean, who is going to enjoy this? Right? What have you seen in here? Nothing. Nothing. It's when you go there and wait and enjoy and encounter forests, mountains, lakes. This one. Now, with a PhD, of course, that's going to imply something that might not be very pleasant on the path. You could go definitely deep in the world that is between reality and expectation. You can feel a bit under stress, feel very pressed under certain constraints, but you want to be someone like Elon. You don't never want to give up. Even if your latest product you think is the coolest one, get destroyed in front of you. Never give up. And so in my case, when I started, I was ready to engage in any experiment and use whatever tool I've been offered to use. But then, of course, I became interested in using something that was becoming more complex and more complex and even more complex, even probably too much complex. And okay, we just relax and use something a bit more simple, but you actually had to study to use that. Anyway, the challenges are always there, but maybe if we continue, someday you will have the opportunity to obtain something good, to present it with other people, and even to discuss it with your heroes, your scientific heroes.
And if you're lucky enough, maybe you can imagine that one day while you're doing your experiments, like a TV crew will storm into the lab and will make a video just to show that what you're doing is helping the world to be a better place. That actually happened. I'm still a bit surprised with that. I haven't told them. Just really, literally stormed the lab while we were fighting with a machine trying to make it work. But what does it really take for a PhD? Step one, supervisor. That's really the fundamental part. If you want to start getting into a PhD, you need a person who can do work. And I can spend a lot of time here trying to present you all the moments when we discussed together and when we really felt that connection, the mutual trust that made all of this possible. Because that was all about that, was the trust that let me opportunity to lead the ideas, to give, to go forward, to proceed, and to discover. But instead of going all the way with something over dramatic, I'm in. And that's how you start. Step two, get a project. Okay, so we started. Brilliant idea. I wanted to do high temperature superconductors. For some of you, it's not a surprise. Cooper's high temperature superconductor. There was a great project. Didn't went that far for PhD thesis. But never give up. Next one. Okay, superconductor again. We changed the topic. We tried to do something a bit more complex, something that is a bit more cool, something that is not going to work. Next, we do this. It's going to work. We are sure it's going to be so good that someone already published it. So, continuing, then we just remain with, we have one technique, we have another method, let's combine them and see how to study interlayer conductivity. And so that was the idea. Now, having a project, next step is a never give up. Not telling you the time, you guess where's my office is. But it was the point. I wanted to go to the result. And over this time, if I look back, really the interesting part was the progression. The progression that I had throughout all the discussion the team I had next to me. We started from something where I do not even remember what the sample is and what we were actually measuring, to something that progressed in quality, in precision of the results, to something I can be proud to say that is state-of-the-art science. But how you build all of this, right? I cannot take all the results to say that was just me. No, it was because I had the opportunity to have the dream team around. We really had people that instructed me, that guided me, that pushed me to get better every day. And of course, the dream team, Anna. Anna was my co-supervisor. She was there for guiding me and helped me to advance my scientific knowledge. I studied as an engineer, and moving to basic science was a step in another direction. And because of that, I had to learn a lot of concepts on the way. She instructed me on a lot of things I've never studied before, see a completely different perspective than what I was used to. And she introduced me to a lot of the research facility that made it possible for me to achieve all these results. She also gave me the opportunity to work alongside with the team, and we had great fun both inside the lab and outside. The other person is Philip. Philip is the man behind the Focus team. He's the person that really moved the technique so much forward and gave me the opportunity to work alongside with him and master it in the process that English for the thesis. I also had a great time working alongside in his teams, first in Lausanne, and then here at EPFL, and have the honor to be part of their lab meetings, sitting right in front of Geraldine de Girard, which is also another group member, and even making to the group D&D as our group. I guess that's appropriate. But all the experiments have been based on something, and that's something I am not able to do it. I'm definitely not able to do it that quality, which are the materials I've been studying. They're coming from the expertise that are present in the crystal growth facility at EPFL, and most of all, the experience of Helmut Berger, who is the senior chemist who really made all this material possible. He is so good that when you go to a conference or a discussion and say you have results on a new material, the first question people will have is your material good? Are you measuring something good? You don't have to say the quality, the supplier, how you do it. You just have to say, that's an Helmut Berger crystal. Everybody will trust you. That's how good he is, no matter where you are. Those are the magic words. There are also other people around the EPFL community that helped me a lot, all the support, all the contribution, the inspiration, and always being there to support our project for the theoretical perspective. The team of Eric, Ivica, Capitano, for always being a reference for discussions. The team with Eva and the spectroscopy groups, in which we discussed a lot and always had interesting ideas. There are also other people and teams outside EPFL. The result I presented, the theory part, came thanks to the discussion we had with Edward and Ivo in Zagreb. The scientists are really experienced in that material that I studied, spent years understanding it, and really discussing with them was the opportunity for me to learn and make these results possible. But there's also other people that you need around you when you work. It's not just a collaborator, not just someone you work with, someone that is a mentor, someone that will show you a way and will guide you through. And in my case, I had Andrea when I started working in the lab for my master, Eduardo, who is now a very successful scientist at MIT, and most of all, a spiritual mentor who really guided me in this process. In the last period, when we were all close at home, then my mentor became a little figure of Samuel Jackson. You cannot see anyone very close writing thesis, so you still need someone to meditate. After people, what else you need if you want to do great results? You want to have the best technologies ever. You want to have something that's high in tech. And that's, again, thanks to all the people that I met, thanks to the help of Anna to explore all these possibilities, to the help of Philip, where I could go, for example, to Dresden. Right? Most of you are more accustomed to the fact that I was never in Lausanne because I was always traveling to explore different tools. There are Acknowledgement team in Dresden. There was a fantastic environment for science, but also for having fun. We even had great fun at the Lindau meeting together. Laboratories, for example, with crazy technologies that I never knew about even before starting, extreme high powerful magnets. This is one of those magnets that is so powerful as 2 trains at high speed while accelerating like 2 TGV, right here behind us. I was there with Kostya. You can imagine that that is so powerful that when you turn it on at maximum power, it will bend time and space so much that people will start walking sideways. You think we did that because it's fun? No, we did that because his computer will turn off if it would remain flat. There's a magnetic field sensor inside the computer that tells the computer when it's closed. That magnet, which is few meters away, is so powerful that we turn off the computer. Other laboratories, for example, the one at the Brookhaven National Lab, now you will see these rings. These are synchrotron where I work. In that case, I've been working alongside with Chris Holmes, thanks to the collaboration organized with Anna, where I learned a lot about optical spectroscopy. And from here, you will see all these fantastic technologies. There's another of this magic ring. It's really a Luna Park for scientists. Once you get accustomed to passing through the door, there might be fighting at the beginning, trust me. We all have a great fun. Scientists is a bit, like, you could never stop working. But actually, because when you're there, you only have 5 days to do your experiment over years, so you are not going to stop working. And then the other, again, Soleil, who really had a fantastic time working. The amazing part there is that you always have a team that will help you. A senior scientist, someone that will always be there to make the experiment possible. In that case, for me, Paris was the first location where I started doing this kind of experiment. And the person that is doing the entirety of the job is Francesco. Francesco Capitani is the senior scientist there. And you can see maybe sometimes I will appear just to look around and say, yeah, we're measuring well. And he's organizing and aligning all the setup. The great part is that he is so much devoted that we were always confident that whenever we go there, we would be successful. And that's how, for example, a location where we had fantastic technology and then a dream team come with us and we produce fantastic results. So these places are tough. Now, I don't know if you imagine the concept, but when you have this great technology, it's so great that everybody wants to have it. You only have it for a limited time. So when you're there, you work. There's no closing. And so they're doing scientific studies on the fact of this time of intense experiments called mean time of people. They're being compared to something like alcohol and meth. And you can see the effects here over years of use. Kostya proposed himself for one experiment, and that is the effect after 1 week. So I don't know why people are still surprised. Meanwhile, I take a moment just to reflect. Maybe collect my thought. Yes, that might be the inside of a club with loud music. But still, why not? Then came the moment of the thesis, but then came 2020, and I guess we go forward because there was really nothing collected in there except the final moment where we discussed. It was a great moment to really complete this path on the technical side with the theory. But you don't need technology only, you don't need mentors. You can have all of this, but you also need friends, people that will support you. And this is really what also made possible for me to go over all the challenges I faced. And first of all, the LPNC, it was a group of family, friends, everything together. And that work for me was a great environment to support my work. We had fun inside and also outside the lab in a lot of different contexts. And this is really something that I appreciated a lot. and really supported by the mindset and the spirit of Laszlo to have an environment where we collect and we spend time together as well. And really, it's a family that is always expanding, and that's, I think, something very, very nice as well. Among that family, there's one person that was always with me in the last 2 years. This project are tough, and I needed a warrior next to me. And Kostya is a fighter. You can see up there, that's a real fighter. And we spend time doing what we love the most, which is martial arts fighting, experiments in remote and very difficult location, and dance battle, because again, why not? Kostya, he's a real fighter, and that's really why I like him as a team partner, right? That was a conference. What you gonna do in a conference when there's you and someone else from other university present? You're gonna sort out who is the best in the dance battle, and yeah, Kostya is not giving up. The other guy is a skill, but he is tough. He's not giving up. Another part, I've been a student, I've been a mentee, but I've also been a supervisor, which is another side of the experience, which for me was great. Having guys in the lab, try to motivate them to be in the lab in some way or another, showing them how to do science. And it's also a great experience for me because when you supervise someone, you learn something. There's always something new you get from your students. They always present you new perspective, they present you the mastering of time, they present you how to be more serious, how to face new challenges, and how to be proud. This is also what I really love for having someone else to supervise. It was a double process experience, and I really loved every moment. Because in the end, you only do your PhD, your master twice, or as Michele said, you only do it once, and you have to enjoy it. Again, friends, it wasn't only just work, party hard, work hard. I don't know what tour was the hardest, but we definitely party hard a lot. And there were also friends that were always for me the point of reference in any moment, and I'm really thankful for that, for being always there in any moment. There are also friends that were really for me references because they really show me a lifestyle, a way of being, and really someone like Federico with his Corto Maltese charisma, Marcello, and Jimmy. The guy in the motorbike wasn't me, by the way. Yeah? This is another community which is not here. It's the community of people that I met throughout a side project, which is the science communication. They also show me a way of presenting what you do with passion. There's something, a different perspective that I really enjoy over the last time. And last is really my rooftop house party team, my flatmate. We had always a great fun, enjoying really every moment here in Lausanne. And I know you want to have some flatmate as cool as that, because really it's very hard. Here I want to close a bit in Italian, if you don't mind. Volevo ringraziarvi del tutto, ragazzi, siete sempre stati lì dal giorno 1, avete sempre continuato a credere in me, a supportare la mia visione, e vi ringrazio tantissimo. E oltre ai amici che sono sempre rimasti lì con me, la parte più importante è anche la mia famiglia, che è sempre stata lì con me, sempre creduto nei miei talenti, nei miei desideri e nella mia voglia di fare. Grazie a tutti. Thank you all again.
With this session is closed. Thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you again.